When it comes to installing your new N55 valve cover, slide in the rear section first, as the frontmost corners have some wires and oil lines that need to be moved for it to seat properly. With it in, ensure that the gasket didn't move on you, and in the areas you can't see, lightly probe the area with a pick. If you need to, reseat it again, otherwise run down all the E10s in sequence. Just run them down so the valve cover is not loose, and double check that the gasket is properly and evenly seated. Now it's time for the torque sequence. All the E10s get 8.5 Newton meters in order, and all of them can be reached with a 1/4 inch extension and E10 socket, with the exception to number 20. Due to the placement of number 20, you'll need to use the wobble extension. It's for this reason I went up to 9 Newton meters to account for not having a straight angle. As for the rest, it's perfectly fine to use an extension, so long as it's not angled off to the side. Unlike power tools that lose power with extensions, a torque wrench will only go off when the desired torque has been reached, even with an extension. The next thing to be mindful of occurs when installing the fuel lines. If they don't thread in smoothly, apply some downward pressure as you spin it on. You'll also need crowfoot wrenches. Just make sure it's 90 degrees in relation to your torque wrench. The smaller 14mm lines get 23 Newton meters, while the bigger 17mm gets 30. The last thing is if you're installing a new valve cover. The 13mm, T25s, and E6s need to be tapped to the new valve cover. Fortunately, they're all self-tapping screws, and this can be done easily with hand tools. Now you're ready to test if the valve cover is properly sealed. It's actually the same test to determine if you need a new valve cover or just the gaskets, which you can check out my previous video, and I'll see you in that one.